Steph Curry is the all-time NBA career three-point king. He reinvented the shot, let's face it. He's at 3,117 of them. And he's taking them from distances that have reinvented modern basketball. He has, along with Draymond Green, invented or reinvented the modern or postmodern era. He's also a four-time NBA champion with 2 regular season MVPs, and now, most importantly, finally, a finals MVP. A lot of people have started to ask, where does he rank all time? Well, Warriors owner Joe Lacob says there's plenty more where that came from.
I think he's got a number of years to go.
Yes.
And we were right. We did. We won. I mean, amazingly. And I think we're going to be, hopefully better next year. These young guys will be better.
Yep.
Steph's still got it. I don't see him going off. I'm sorry to say for the rest of the league, I don't see him getting any worse.
Yeah, he's
You never know.
Yeah, he's aging like wine. It's crazy.
He is.
Yeah.
The guy is so well conditioned. It's unbelievable.
And more importantly, he is now, there he is, Mark Spears along with Kendrick Perkins. More importantly, Steph is now clearly much more comfortable on the biggest stage in the highest leverage games than he used to be. And as a result of that, he can now seriously be entertained as a top 10 player of all time. But am I to get this right? Are there people who are foolish enough to say he's in the GOAT conversation? I hope that's a joke. Because until people bring up unanimous MVPs, Mark Spears, Kendrick Perkins, unanimous regular season MVPs, by the end of the actual season, when it was all said and done, not a single person on earth in 2016 would dare argue he was the best player in basketball because LeBron was twice as good as him. And before you can be in a GOAT conversation, you should spend at least a year or two as the best player in the NBA. Maybe if he did it, it was just now for the first time. So is Kendrick Perkins shaking his head because he thinks I'm arguing Steph's not a top 10 player? He may or may not be. He's a fringy top 10 all-time player. But GOAT conversation, Perk? Am I getting this right?
Listen, well, one, I'm sipping my water and clearing my throat so that I could address you, okay? And one thing you have to learn, Max Kellerman, is the same thing I have to learn, and that's it's putting your pride aside, okay? Because Steph Curry proved 2 people wrong this season and this season alone. It was you and it was me. Both of us had doubts about Steph Curry. We done been on the same network, same time, talking about Steph Curry. I had to think about Steph Curry. Forget that, he's the greatest shooter of all time. Forget that he's one of the most skilled players to ever touch the basketball. Forget that he has a high 2-point percentage in all-time rankings as far as Karl Malone and Hakeem Olajuwon. Forget that he's the most efficient 20-point-per-game scorer in NBA history. Forget all that. I think about top players in today's game like a Kevin Durant who went to Golden State because he wanted to play alongside Steph Curry. I think about listening to a guy like LeBron James, who is in the GOAT conversation, who talk about on his show, The Shop, talk about how he actually wants or he would love to play with Steph Curry. And I think about the plug and replace. When you take away Harrison Barnes, you win the championship with Harrison Barnes leaves, you get Kevin Durant, you win 2 with Kevin Durant leaves, you win 1 with Andrew Wiggins, plug and replace. Steph Curry makes everyone around him better, and I'm not talking about with the past.
I think that
just
is
being
Mark
on the
Spears.
floor with him.
Mark Spears, I think that's a convincing argument why Steph is maybe in the top 10 ahead of KD, who they played on the same team, and KD was clearly better than him on the same team in their primes. And yet what Perk is saying convinces me maybe that it is Steph who deserves next in the top 10, knocking out Tim Duncan or whoever you want to take out of the top 10. What separates Steph, do you think, from the other players on the fringes of that top 10 conversation?
Well, I'm going to read you this list. I brought some homework, all right?
Okay.
Kareem, 7'2". LeBron, 6'9". Jordan, 6'6". Wilt, 7'1". Oscar, 6'5". Hakeem, 7 feet. Duncan, 6'11". KD, 6'11". Stephen Curry, 6'2".
Yeah.
All these guys, and even Oscar was 6'5", but Steph is a foot shorter than Wilt, like a foot shorter than Hakeem. And the fact that he's been able to do what he's done at 6'2", we haven't seen a player this dominant at this height since Isaiah Thomas.
No, he's more
And so
dominant
to
than
me,
Isaiah
pound
was.
for pound, for him to be able to do what he's done for his dominance at his size, he was not gifted with giant height. For him to be able to do that at his size, to me, is remarkable and something that's certainly not talked about enough, and a reason why he's definitely in the top 10, because he had the least to work with.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.